Very good morning, my dear students. Today I have come with one more topic on taxonomy, that is botanical gardens, herbarium, and herbaria. This topic has been introduced in the first year BSc syllabus, and this is a very important topic from the point of examination. So, looking into its importance in the examination, I have taken this topic. I hope this topic will definitely help you in securing a very good mark in the examination. So, I want my students to go through this topic thoroughly so that they can answer any concept under this topic. I wish you all the very best in the coming examination, students. So let us know what are all the importance of botanical gardens, herbarium and the herbaria. Well, the botanical garden is generally defined as a place for growing flowers, fruits or vegetables. A botanical garden is an educational institution for scientific workers and general public or a layman to create interest in the plant life. The botanical gardens are of immense value not only to botanists but also to home gardeners, nurserymen, horticulturists, landscape gardeners, and foresters. The botanical garden should have morphological gardens to display seed dispersal in plants, genetics or breeding garden to display the laws of heredity, and a taxonomic garden to display plant families. There should be a frutisatum, arboretum, a section of economic plants, greenhouses, and nurseries for propagating and cultivating exotic endangered plants. A botanical garden is an institution for botanical research, especially on the native flora of the region. There should be a herbarium, library, photographic studies, lecture pavilion, and a recreational facility in the botanical gardens. In fact, all the fundamental and applied aspects of botany come within the purview of botanical garden, and it becomes the center of cultural activities of the region in which it is situated. Now, coming to the functions of gardens, botanical gardens act as an outdoor laboratory. They initiate studies on the tropical and temperate ecosystem and their biota before they are lost to science and preserve such systems. They serve as centers of gene pools or germplasm banks of wild relatives of economically important plants. They establish nature centers and youth museums to focus attention on destruction of tropical and temperate ecosystems, environmental degradation, maintain less attractive and abandoned ornamental plants, train city arborists in the plantation of trees in urban areas, collaborative university and others to conduct research in environmental biology. They organize educational programs to create environmental awareness among children, among students, and it trains teachers in environmental education. They are centers of conservation of endangered and rare species. Botanical gardens provide living plant material for research. They serve as pollution indicator centers by growing pollution susceptible plants. Most of the economic plants were originally introduced and distributed to the other parts of the world through botanic gardens. They inspire poets, literatures by providing aesthetic pleasure. They are the serene sites for relaxation. The gardens provide a suitable environment for relaxation and relieve the body and the mind of the stress and strain. So, garden therapy for eyesight, mental stress, etc. People of advanced age find a great solace in the lovely gardens. Gardens also arrange flower shows Bhutan displays seasonal plants, flowers, and plants of unusual interest. The landscape gardens are becoming quite popular and a great charm to the adjoining buildings like libraries, museums, and sports grounds. They conserve the flora and fauna in the natural habitat. Now, coming to the herbarium. An herbarium is a place where plants are collected from far and wide, preserved and pressed in dried condition. They are kept in pigeonholes of almirahs according to any accepted system of classification. The art of herbarium was initiated by an Italian taxonomist by name Luca Ghini in the year 1490 to 1556. The concept of preserving plant specimen in dried form is 450 years old. The oldest preserved herbarium specimen is kept in Rome, collected by the naturalist Gerardo Cibo, a pupil of Luca Ghini. What are the functions of herbarium? It is an invaluable conservatory of plant material and data. It's a storehouse of collection, including the valuable type specimens. The herbaria greatly aid in all kinds of taxonomic research. They serve as fundamental resource for identification of all plants of the world. It serves as a source for collection of biodiversity. Most estimates on global biodiversity today are based on herbarium collection only. It aids in biodiversity monitoring by carrying out security of herbarium collection to obtain quantitative baseline data on the distribution and abundance of keystone species is essential for all monitoring programs. It serves as a repository of orchard specimens on which varieties botanical research are carried out. It aids in assessment of conservation status of a taxon. Vast collection of a particular species in herbarium aids in assessing the diversity or variations exhibited by a species in its distributional ranges, helping in population biology studies. It serves as a source for search of new genetic material for improvement of cultivated stock. The tags of herbarium carry all the information about habitat, habit, local name, flower color, and other characters of plant, use of plant, frequency, and abundance of species. It also includes the morphological description, range of distribution, variation, and uses. In this way, it provides data for botanical, ethnobotanical, and phytogeographical studies. Herbarium serves as an aid in teaching botany. Dried specimen is available all the time as compared to the fresh plant, which may or may not be available. It helps in identifying the newly collected specimen. Specimen may be based as a source of material for anatomy, palynology, and taxonomy, ecology, chemistry, molecular biology, pharmacognosy, and environment impact assessment. Seeds of herbarium specimens can be used to resurrect species extinct in the wild using modern technology. It aids in assessment and cataloging of all species of economic potential as commercial species, medicinal herbs, food plants. It helps in development of computer database on plants and maintains active links to international network of systematic resources and electronic base. Let us look into herbarias. Depending upon the interest of the organization or institution, the labels, contents, and notes on the sheets in a herbarium are of different kinds. Herbaria can be of organizations, it can be at the level of regions, or it can be local herbarias, or even the universities and colleges can also act as herbarias. Herbaria may be of different categories. It can be herbaria of drugs and medicinal plants, herbaria of crop plants, and weeds in cultivated fields. Over 1,700 of the world's most important herbaria are listed in Index Herbarium Part 1. Index Herbarium Part 2 includes detailed information of plant collectors with present location of specimen. Index Xyloriorum Xyloriorum includes guide to the world's timber collection. So these are some of the herbarias where number of plant species have been preserved in the form of herbarium. So if you look into the minor herbarias of India, Botanical Survey of India, Botanical Survey of India at Jodhpur, Botanical Survey of India at Sikkim, there is herbaria at the Delhi University, and even at Darjeeling. So minor herbarias like Botanical Survey of India, Jodhpur, Botanical Survey of India, Sikkim, Delhi University, Darjeeling, School of Plant Morphology, Meerut College, Meerut. So it contains approximately 25,000 specimens. So I'll conclude this topic, my dear students. Thank you one and all.